I'm Louis Paxton. I'm the writer and director of The Incomer.
I'm Grant O'Rourke, and I play Sandy.
Hello, I'm Domhnall Gleeson, and I play Daniel in The Incomer.
Hi, I'm Gayle Rankin, and I play Isla in The Incomer.
I'm also in The Incomer.
Yeah. Grant doesn't play.
So I loved the movie so much. It was just a beautiful, funny, batshit movie. And most of all, I loved like the childish like brother-sister dynamic.
That you loved. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and you were great too.
No, we should leave this question in. Go on.
But tell me about like building that comedic chemistry first off.
Do you know, building chemistry when you're playing someone's brother or sister, you kind of do try to develop a organic relationship off screen that's kind of similar to the dynamic, so it all feels very natural. It helps a lot when you're working with an actress like Gayle Rankin, who's phenomenal. She's so good. She's the best. And she's kind of, I think it was much easier for me because she really took the lead in terms of making a relationship kind of comfortable, but also hostile. So, like playfully hostile. And it felt, we did a little bit of work in rehearsal, but it came really naturally. And it was all Gayle's fault. It was Gayle that did most of it.
Building the sibling relationship with Grant, for me, was also really easy. And Louis gave us such an amazing roadmap. Do you know what I mean with the script? I mean, there's such a specific relationship that's not akin to anything that many of us understand, which is like living alone with one person for 30 years on an island. I mean, it's not even just a brother-sister relationship. It's a another human and another human relationship. We did a lot of like interesting movement work with Polly McKee, this amazing movement director, and all three of us actually, which was really bonding and exciting. And
Yeah. Well, then tell me how like Daniel comes into that and feels, connected to them as an outsider on the mainland, I guess.
Well, I play Daniel, who is arriving to very politely ask them to leave the island, and they don't take kindly to it. They're not used to outsiders or incomers, and they're pretty physically aggressive to him straight off the bat. and it starts there and then gets worse for a while. So it was great fun. It was like, it's a very, very funny film. And then I think it just gets deeper and deeper and more interesting and human as it goes along, and it ends up in a really still very funny but emotional place. So it was really easy to dive into. As Gayle said, the script was fantastic. So it was easy to throw myself into.
Louis, tell me about, I just love folk tales in general, but I really loved how you kind of use them to show how these characters are like coping with grief and like generational trauma. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I think I'm very interested in folklore and, Scottish mythology particularly, and it was something I knew I always wanted to kind of weave into this film. It kind of came out of the fact that they're so isolated. It's just the two of them on the island, and there are things that you wouldn't share with each other if it was just you and your brother and sister. So I needed ways for them to have to sort of expose what it was they were feeling that they might not be expressing and between each other. And the Thin Man was the perfect way to do that. So there's a bit of their dad in there, and the kind of fear that he left them with. But to kind of offset that, I also wanted him to be like, he's trying to get her into the water. He's essentially like, trying to kill her, trying to get her to kill herself. But that's very dark. So I really like the idea of kind of offsetting it with, he's not very good at it, So he's like, come in, there's crabs down here, there's a crab, he's got a hat on, kind of thing. So I feel like it kind of sums up the tone of the movie. It's like underneath it all, there's this sort of dark trauma that they're all dealing with, but it's all dealt with in this very lighthearted, kind of off-kilter sort of comedic tone. And that's, it's great fun to present that for people because, you have these moments where people are really emoting, and then you have this, then they're laughing the next minute because someone got hit in the head with a dildo,
Well, it feels very Scottish or very Celtic.
Yeah, it's very, we undercut sentiment. Yeah.
I have to ask, like, what was it like building those fight scenes, the brother-sister fight scenes? And
They were loads of fun. I mean, Gayle's very easy to pick up, so like a lot of the dynamics was about me. She would just jump on me like a spider monkey.
Did you use your glow training?
I did use my professional wrestling training.
Nice.
It was interesting because I would be like, I'll put him in a headlock. I could suplex him right now. And be like, well, we don't have television. She wouldn't know how to do that. So there are rules. You know what I mean? There are rules of our world, which are really fun, actually, for all of us, I think.
My favorite part of the movie is like Sandy's kind of sexual awakening throughout, and then like finding out at the end that he's not just a seagull, but he's a bear. Can you tell me a little bit about, playing the heart behind like this big burly guy who's actually just like a grown-up kid?
Well, I think the really interesting thing to play is that you're not just playing someone who's discovering their sexuality. He's discovering that he has a sexuality because he's never had any reference point in his life. There's no male kind of touchstone for him to know like what it is that he loves about, that masculine energy. So this at its heart, it's just about him falling for someone, but then having the self-awareness to realize it is just desire. And it's like all of a sudden he's aware of his own body for the first time. And yeah, we just wanted to see him have a happy ending. I think, if he goes home and he really goes to town.
I loved your entire Lord of the Rings one-man show. Can you tell me about like putting your all into that?
Yeah, at a certain point, Daniel, they're telling stories, and they're very good at telling stories, their own stories they've made up, their kind of mythology. And Daniel tells him he's got his own stories and then realizes he doesn't have anything that he's made up himself. So he pretends that he's made up Lord of the Rings. And then due to copyright laws, we had to change it to Frodo working in the local council. And so, yeah, it was great because Louis, that was the only bit we went back and forth on the script about, really, was because we had to make sure we found this line. And it was just really good fun to go at it and tell a story in a big way. It's the first time he's ever expressed himself in that larger way and had a rapt audience. And so I think he just loves it, Yeah.
And also tell me a little bit about how Isla wants to keep her brother from like seeking out the incomers, but she also has like this shed full of her little artifacts. Can you tell me about like playing that curiosity?
Yeah, it was really interesting and amazing, like duality that I got to kind of explore that involved kind of Isla's secret world and desire, and that involved like her emotional world and then a physical world, which was her mystery hutch, of which was one of my most favorite things in the film. I think it felt really necessary for me, that kind of duality, because I think it would have been really easy to kind of play her as this very angry, bitter, twisted, cruel sister. And she's not that. She has such a yearning, and I think it uncovers like this, underbelly that is like both traumatic, and also it's like really sweet and very funny, that she has this like desire, and she just like wants to be in love, and she wants to smile, and she wants to be all of these things, but she hasn't had the opportunity.
Yeah. When he first goes in for the kiss and she like headbutts
him.
That was hilarious. Can you tell me like what's going on with season 2, or is there any update you can share?
Yeah, no. First of all, I would ask that you leave that bit in, that you love the paper. No, I've got the haircut, so I'm getting back into. I had a perm in our film, so I had a real life perm, and the perm has now been cut out so I can go back and play Ned. So yeah, we're reading scripts, and they're really good and really exciting, and incredibly excited to get dug back in. It's really nice to do something silly about journalism, which is a very serious thing. So
especially local journalism, so important.
I think if we were doing a big paper, you would be getting into all sorts of stuff that would be difficult to talk about in any way that was funny. The fact that it's a really local place, you can find the small things that mean bigger things. And in a way, that's always the news that really matters, is the one that's on your street. So we're loving it. I'm very lucky to be a part of it.
And is it true that there's a romantic subplot between you and Tim Key this season?
Listen, I'm not at liberty. I can't divulge anything. I would love it. Anything that gets me closer to Tim, I'm happy with. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Well, that's all I have, but I just wanted to say thank you so much again. It was such a fun movie. I really enjoyed it.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for the question.